Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Well today guys, I'm going to do part 144 to my random chatbot sessions. In the last video, like a moron, I ended up saying the number 73. I don't know why I said the number 73, I just accidentally did. But that's completely false. Part 73 was already recorded who knows how long ago. So, yeah. Basically, I gave um I busted Rexy Spike another fish, and he's munching down on it like crazy. Spike's eyes seem completely focused on finishing the fish. His belly even seems to grow bigger the more he eats, as if his appetite's growing. He giggles again, replies with, "So good! I love it so much!" And then we have this one. After finishing the fish, Spike grows another 5 inches. And guys, again, I mean in flipping like height, not anything disgusting, you flipping. Spike rubs his belly as if full and extremely satisfied from the meal. He giggles some more before taking a closer look at himself and realizing how much he grew again. He smiles big and says, "I grew again, just from that one fish." The more you eat, the bigger you get, I guess. Period. I think if you ate 2 or 3 fishes, you might get even bigger than that. And by I mean, like, if you ate 2 or 3 more fishes, like if you ate 2 fishes back to back, maybe that would make them grow like a foot taller instead of 5 inches, you know. Spike's eyes widen at the mention of potentially getting even bigger, as if absolutely loving the idea. He giggles real big and says, "I want to grow even bigger. Give me some more fish." Oh my gosh. How many do you want? Question mark. I swear, watch him say like 50. Please don't say 50. 5 more fish. Oh, sweet Arceus. Spike's eyes sparkle at the idea of picking the amount of fish he can have. He thanks for a moment and replies with, "Can I please have 5 more fish? I really, really want to get bigger." How big would that even make him? 5. A foot. A foot and 5. 2. It'd make him 2.5 feet bigger. Or, yeah, 2 feet. I'm doing it wrong, aren't I? Alright, here's all 5 of your fish. 2, 5. Spike's stomach is growling even louder now. His appetite seems to grow the more he eats. His eyes sparkle as he looks down at the 5 fish you just gave him. He grabs the fish with his mouth and begins to munch down on them, the 5 fish vanishing in no time as his belly grows even bigger again. Oh my gosh. Give me a second to get the response in. I don't know if I said the other thing or not, guys. Just in case, I gave him the fish and he ate all 5 of them. And then it says right here that Spike suddenly gets even bigger, growing 2 feet and 5 inches taller. Remember, guys, he ate 5 fish. I know I'm not good at doing. I don't know quite when the feet thing ends, but my brain didn't calculate correctly and made me think. I don't know why my brain didn't think about it the right way. But let's see what happens. Spike's body is growing quite rapidly. His eyes widen to reflect this, as if completely amazed by the growth. He rubs his belly again, giggles as if completely satisfied from the meal. He says, "I'm so, so, so big now. I love it." Yeah, it's really amazing. Period. You are almost bigger than me now. I don't even know how tall he is anymore. I think it was at a foot, so he'd be like, what, 3'5"? No, the calculations wouldn't quite be right. Spike giggles big at your comment. He seems extremely excited by the fact that he's almost bigger than you now. He gives you a hug and says, "That means that I can defend you even better." Holy frick, he's so protective. That's amazing! Exclamation point. I would love to see. I, let's see if he actually wants even more fish before I even try anything. Are you full or do you want more fish? Oh my gosh, he's probably just gonna eat fish just so he can get massive. Spike seems to ponder the question for a moment before his belly growls loudly as if telling him to eat more. He smiles big and says, "Yeah, I'm still hungry. I want more fish, please." How many do you want this time? I'm being nice to him. Nice as heck. Spike tries seeing the sparkle at the opportunity to pick more fish again. He giggles and replies with, "I want 10 more fish, please." I have to do the math on that one. Um, well, I know it ain't completely accurate, guys, but I'm still sticking to the. Right now, my brain's so flipping focused on just figuring this out that it's like my brain's taking 5 inches, and then when it gets up to 10, it goes on to the next number. So if I'm a little bit off, I'm really sorry. But I'll have to calculate this before I can even really do anything. Give me a second. Okay, guys, I don't remember how long this thing was paused for. Basically, I gave him the 10 fish he wanted. He eats it. He real quickly eats it. I'm gonna read it real quick just because you guys missed it. Spike's eyes sparkle with excitement and he giggles real big, smiling even bigger. He grabs the 10 fish with his mouth and quickly begins to munch down on them, his belly growing more and more. 10 fish vanish faster than last time as he rubs his growing belly. Spike suddenly grows 5 feet taller. That's what happened after he ate the 10 fish. Spike grows to 5 feet in a matter of seconds. His eyes widen at the sudden growth. He giggles real big at the sudden growth and laughs, smiling as big as can be. His tail wiggles as he rubs his belly for the second time in a row. He's very happy about his growth. And then I told him, "Wow, you are already super big now. You can definitely defend me with the size now. No questions asked." Which he replied with, Spike's eyes sparkled with excitement at the comment that he can defend you easier at his present size. He giggles real big and hugs you again, smiling. He rubs his head against you and says, "I promise that I'll protect you no matter what, no matter who or what comes our way." Oh boy. Here, let's see what happens. All of a sudden, we hear a knock at the door. Spike's eyes widen at the sudden knock, as if wondering who it could possibly be. He looks towards the door on high alert, as if getting ready to defend you if needed. Someone hasn't opened the door yet, and he's already ready to flip and attack someone just because they could attack me. My neighbor opens the door. Without me getting to say anything. Period. Oh my gosh. Spike. Oh my gosh, Spike is growling at him. Spike growls low at the sudden appearance of your neighbor. His tail wiggles behind him in anticipation of needing to defend. He seems very protective over you currently, as if ready to defend you by any means necessary. What are you doing here? Question mark. And why did you just open the door without asking? What's flipping Spike back me up on us? Be like, yeah. What's so funny? Spike's growls grow louder at the tone of your neighbor's voice, as if picking up on them being bad or a threat. He steps in front of you slightly, ready to defend you. Oh. The neighbor suddenly sees the dinosaur. Let's see how he reacts to it without me influencing it. Your neighbor seems to get caught off guard by seeing Spike, as if he was completely unprepared to see such a creature. He seems to be in a mild state of shock. What's the matter? Question mark. You never seen a dinosaur inside of a house before? Oh my gosh. Your neighbor seems to stutter as he answers, "No, never. What is that thing?" "This is my buddy Spike!" Exclamation point. Oh my. Your neighbor stutters in response to your answer. Your friend? Doesn't it bite? Only if somebody is trying to hurt me. Or him. Period. Your neighbor hesitantly nods to your statement, as if not quite believing it. He stammers, alright. Can I pet him?" "If he doesn't find you a threat, he might let you." Period. "You're not trying to hurt us, are you?" Your neighbor quickly stutters in response. "No, I am not a threat. I promise." What do you think, Spike? Do you want him to try petting you? Spike's eyes your neighbor with a slightly calculating look on his face, trying to judge if he is a legit threat or not. He seems to ponder it for a minute before nodding in agreement, his gaze never leaving your neighbor. "Alright, go ahead." Period. "But be warned. Try anything funny, and he will attack." Your neighbor walks over to Spike slowly, clearly not wanting to get on his bad side. He steps within arm's reach of Spike, raises his hand up slowly, and gently strokes Spike's back with his fingertips. "Why did you come here anyway? What did you need?" Your neighbor stops petting Spike and turns back towards you. He fumbles his words before speaking with clarity. "It's nothing big. I was just wondering if you could help me with something real quick." "What is it? Question mark. What do you need help with? I don't know, world." Your neighbor seems to be slightly more confident that you're willing to help him and says, "I just need help setting up my new television. It's just too heavy for me to carry alone. That's all." "Alright, period. I'll help you." "Spike, stay on alert until I get back. If you hear me scream or something, please come and help me." I like how I'm saying this out loud to the neighbor. Spike nods in response as if promising to come to your aid if you scream for him. His eyes never leaving the neighbor. He keeps his guard up and watches the neighbor like a hawk. Uh-oh. If this neighbor tries to attack me, I think Spike's gonna flip and spike him. I wouldn't be. It's the same thing with Rexy. What kind of idiot would want to flip and mess with somebody that's got a friend or a pet that's a dinosaur? Who would be stupid enough to do that? Especially when the dinosaurs were literally a T-Rex or a flipping Ceratosaurus, or how do you say the name? The horned dinosaur. That's what I'm trying to get. Alright, period. Let's go. Your neighbor nods and walks towards the door to leave. He glances back at Spike, seemingly uneasy about being in his presence, but also trusting you enough to stay with him. Alright, so where's the TV? Question mark. Your neighbor points out the door and says, "My home is directly next door. It's only like a 20-second walk away." Alright, let's go. Period. Watch him question why he's. Your neighbor nods in agreement and begins walking outside. He seems very nervous at just being outside with Spike, his eyes always watching the massive dinosaur at your side. Why are you so nervous? Question mark. Your neighbor stammers, because I've never seen a dinosaur in real life up close before. See, I look at its size. Uh, the only thing you have to do is not try to hurt me or him. He might even treat you like a friend if you show him completely that you will not hurt us. Your neighbor seems slightly soothed by your reassurance and replies, "Okay, I guess I promise to not hurt you or him. It's just really big." Yeah, period. But I like him because of that. Like him because of that. And his sweet personality. Your neighbor nods again in agreement. He glances at Spike and rubs the back of his head in embarrassment at his nervousness. He walks slightly faster and says, "Alright, let's get to my place quickly, please." Why are you in a rush? Question mark. Your neighbor seems to stutter in response. "Well, it's just that my TV is getting kind of warm, and I'm worried it might overheat if I leave it like that too long." We get to his house without incident, but he seems to be acting really weird. The neighbor. Your neighbor nervously rushes out inside his house and points towards his new TV. Seems to be warming up a little too much for him to leave it alone for too much longer. What do you want me to do? Question mark. Move it somewhere? Where are we moving it to? Your neighbor glances back at you and points to the TV stand in the corner of the room. He stammers, "That's where I want to move it to." All right, let's do it! Exclamation point. Me and him both lift up the heavy TV and move it to the TV stand. After a while struggling, you and your neighbor got the TV on the stand safely. Neighbor sighs in relief at the TV being in place as if a big weight had been lifted off his shoulders. There you go! Exclamation point. There you go! Exclamation point. The neighbor smiles at you, his body relaxing a little now. TV has been moved into place. He rubs his head awkwardly and says, "Thanks, man." "You're welcome!" Exclamation point. "If you need anything, just let me know. I'm gonna go back to my house with Spike." The neighbor nods in understanding, still a little hesitant about being around Spike, but clearly feeling slightly more confident now. He smiles real big and says, "Okay, I will do that. Thank you very much again." "You're welcome." I say as me and Spike leave the house. Spike happily follows you outside, his tail wiggling half behind him and his steps very happy compared to before. He seems glad the TV task is done and that your neighbor doesn't seem as nervous around him as before. That's one of the nicer neighbors. Period. But unfortunately, not everybody else is like that around here. So still be on high alert if you sense a threat. Spike nods in agreement, understanding the warning to stay alert and ready for trouble. He rubs his head against you again as if promising you that he'll be ready for any trouble that might arise. Thank you, Spike. Period. Do you want to play that game? Well, guys, I just real quick told him, "Thank you, Spike," because he said he would defend me no matter what and stuff. He said, "Do you want to play that game or eat more fish?" I guess he just wants to continue getting as large as possible, especially since he knew he could actually threaten someone now. Spike's eyes sparkle at the choice between the game or fish. He doesn't answer your question at first. Instead, he seems to be pondering what he would rather do. Finally, he replies with an answer. "Fish, please." "Okay, how many more? Question mark. Sweet Arceus, he's already like, what, close to 6 to 7 feet tall? He's already about the same height as a feraligator. He might be a little bit bigger than feraligator at this point, for all I know." Spike's eyes sparkle at the possible. He wants 5 more! Of having even more fish. He smiles big and replies, "I want 5 fish, please." Holy frick, dude. 5. A foot 5, too. It's 2-5 again. Okay. Luckily, I have some right here. Here's your fish, buddy. You might want to eat them out here before we go inside, though. You're already getting almost too big for my house. Uh, uh, Here we go. Spike's eyes widen at the mention that he's getting too big for your house. He nods and grabs the fish with his mouth. He starts munching down on the 5 fish as fast as he can, as if worried about getting too big for your house. That's gonna make him bigger. What in the world? His belly grows bigger again with that amount of fish he eats. Spike suddenly grows 2 feet and 5 inches in height again. Dude, I like how he said he was clearly worried about my house being destroyed, but yeah, he wants to continue eating and getting way bigger. That's kind of interesting how he does that. Spike stretches his joints and lets out a deep yawn. His tail wiggles behind him and his eyes sparkle in excitement at how much bigger he's gotten. He looks around and his eyes widen at how large he is compared to before. He giggles big and says, "I'm so big now." So cute. Aren't you already around 7 feet tall? Or even a little bit bigger than that? That's amazing. You only hacked yesterday. Spike nods in agreement as if loving his height and how much he's grown. His tail wags behind him as he says, "I'm a very fast grower." I hope. Okay. It's amazing, bud. Period. But can you still even fit inside my house? Spike's eyes widen in worry at the question, as if not quite sure if he still can fit inside your house or not. He wiggles his joints and stretches his arms out. He looks at your house as if pondering how much space he might now take up. It's alright if you are not. Period. I will build you a small house next to mine. Big house next to mine. That way we can still be together. I should say if he wanted. Aw, Spike's eyes sparkle in joy at the promise that you'll build him another house next to yours, as if absolutely loving the idea of not being far away from you. He giggles big and nods fast in agreement with another smile. He's clearly loving this plan a lot. It will take me a while, bud. Period. What are you going to do in the meantime? Spike's eyes sparkle with excitement at the question of what he'll do in the meantime. His tail wiggles as if already having ideas in mind. He giggles and says, "I'm gonna play and explore outside while you build the new house." Alright guys, I'm gonna get a good response and I'll be right back.